Hello and welcome to the fifth session in the IoT. Now, uh, in this video, I'm going to show the practical implementation of IoT there, not practically, but when you're going to apply and make use of this IoT system deployed, what things you need require. The first part is IoT hub or the IoT hardware that we have to think of. That's devices. See, on the screen you can find multiple devices present over here. If you already worked in some of the devices, you might be knowing their names. So these particular devices are present in the IoT system, so we can make use of, like, this is the Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is very commonly used hardware in the IoT systems. It's also included in the syllabus of many universities also. It was created as an open source hardware mechanism in UK in almost 15 years ago for teaching how computer works for the school children. But now it has become most popular in application device in IoT as well as the robotic control also. That's why it is used as main mechanism. It is microprocessor based system. So whatever a computer can do, this chip can also do. It contains the pins. See, almost every chip contains the pins where we are going to connect these sensors and actuator mechanisms. So by which we can sense the data, and actuator will generate an action that can be connected to this particular pins here. They contain the communication mechanisms also, like USB communication. These were 4 USBs are present. This is the Ethernet port present. Here we have audio jack for input of the voice. Here we have the HDMI port by which we can connect it to the HDMI devices, display devices, to show your data output. Okay, that's how it's possible. Raspberry Pi. Similar to Raspberry Pi, many more devices like Orange Pi and Banana Pi is also created. Along with that, ASUS has created a Tinker board. Okay, this or Android IoT mechanism is created. Okay, so all these devices are microprocessor based, just similar to this, and their programming is done with the help of a Python programming language. Okay, now one more. This is second device that I'll focus on. This is your Arduino. Arduino is also one of the most popular mechanism and most cheapest mechanism used to devise the IoT systems, and this is microcontroller based basically, where we are not possible to add this communication mechanisms there. If you want to add a communication mechanism to it, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth or NFC, you have to add an add-on cards to them. So these add-on cards will be used to make it available to the internet, else it will be used on just an embedded system applications. Okay, that is what Arduino. Arduino also having multiple flavors, almost 6 to 7 flavors are there, by which we can make use of its pins and create your devices. That's what this mechanism will be used. Okay, one more just similar to that, we are having one more board. So this board is also having this similar communication mechanism that Arduino is containing. Arduino Nanos. The size of the board will be less, but we can make use of it more effectively than that. Or we can use the one more microcontroller based board from Intel. It's called as Intel Edison. That can also be used. Such many such boards are available by which we can use them as an IoT hub, and with the help of this IoT hub, particular data can be collected from the sensors and the output can be given to the actuators. Okay, and then your IoT system can be designed so much easily. This is the main part. This is what we call as the brain of IoT systems. Without this brain, your IoT mechanism or IoT systems can't communicate with each other. See, with the help of this Raspberry Pi, how the IoT systems can be created. So as I told already, this is your IoT hub. Okay, and this is what a sensor is. This is DHT11 sensor, which is used to read the temperature and humidity of the environment. Okay, so here I am using a temperature reading mechanism over here. So this IoT system or this IoT sensor is connected to the Raspberry Pi or to the IoT hub by some mechanism. For example, these pins can be used here like this. Okay, and all of these devices are connected with a Wi-Fi network here, or any kind of network can be there. Now here IoT hub will collect the data from this particular sensor. Such 50 commonly used sensors and more than 150 industrial sensors are present, which are used to collect the data from different mechanisms. Okay, see this. Now with Wi-Fi you can communicate with each other. For example, this is your address. This is address of the network 192.168.1.1. okay, and here the second device is present. This device will collect the data and it will transfer this data from first device to the second device through the network. So it contains 1.2 IP address, here it contains 1.3 IP address, one more device, and to this Raspberry Pi I am having my user interface mobile. See this. So this user interface will read the data from these particular sensors and will show you. Even we can control it also. I have not given any actuators present over here, but actuators like temperature control devices are also possible. We can make use of them in this system like this. Okay, so here sensor will read the temperature, will convert an electrical signal which is identified by Raspberry Pi, will identify that, and then this data can be sent over the network to other Raspberry Pi also. And here by using user interface we can easily monitor that by a mobile phone, by a web interface, or by any Android applications also. Okay, this is how simple IoT application design will work. Even this user interface or mobile phone can send data to the sensors also. Basically sensors are input devices, that's why a very less number of sensors can read the data from the users. Only they are capable of reading the signals from the users. Okay, now here we may have a security threat. So because IoT is always containing a network, and when network comes, the problem of security will be there. So that problem of security we need to solve. So here one more computer is present, which is the hacker. We'll consider it as hacker, and that hacker can break your network, can intrude into your network, can collect the data, or can make harm to the IoT system also. It can collapse your IoT system also. That's why this particular third party user should be considered in designing the IoT system or mechanism so much effectively. Okay, remember this. So this is how simple IoT system is used. Here how we are making use of the IoT hubs or the brains of these IoT systems to communicate, to transfer the data. Okay, so let's remember that. Now what are the sensors which are used in the IoT systems and mechanism here? So commonly used sensors are just like this. Many of these sensors are used for actually creating the IoTs. As I told, sensor is the mechanism by which you collect the data from the environment and then convert it into computer identifiable data. Human identifiable data is converted into computer identifiable data. That's what we call as the sensors. For example, I want to sense the alcohol, so you can see alcohol sensors. Ultrasonic sensors, they are used to identify the distance in the two devices which we can use. IR optical sensors, they are used to identify the obstacle in front of this particular sensors. LDR, presence of light, that we can find by using this. Gas sensors, gyroscope, rain sensor, actually it's a water sensor basically, or sense hat, which can be present over the Raspberry Pi's board, and multiple sensors are possible by this. Photodiode or proximity, IR proximity sensors, only proximity sensors, or PIR, this is used for motion detectors. Like, so these are the different types of sensors are present. Almost every kind of things that we can recognize, computer can recognize. Even camera, it can also be used. Camera is acting as a sensor also. So when you capture the images or capture the videos, so in that video or image, what exactly happening, what is different thing present inside it, that you can easily monitor, and that can be implemented, added into the sensors, into the IoT system as a sensor also. Okay, so all these sensors are present. They are used to input the data, and based on your application of the device, these sensors are required. These sensors are effectively implemented, required in your IoT device. So they are not limited with this. Hundreds of sensors are present. Industrial sensors are different, and commonly used sensors are different. Now, what are the programming languages required? See, this statistics is shown for IoT working group in IEEE IoT and Agile IoT group. So their survey is showing the IoT application programming languages here. You can check it out. What the current scenario present. From the current scenario, the highest number of devices are deployed by using Java. almost 52% devices in IoT they are using Java. 47 they are using C. One more important thing that you remember, if you combine all together, it's not comparing 100% because some languages are used for multiple number of times. Okay, 51, then 47, then third is JavaScript, it is 51%. The fourth is Python, 37.9%. Python use actually growing. If you see from last several years for embedded application design, Python is very commonly used language in the IoT applications. Maybe it has reached above 40% also. Then we have C++, then Node.js, then C#, and then all small languages like some languages like Lua is also specially designed. Node MCU is one of the device where Lua programming language is used for application design using the IoT. So these are the languages that are required in IoT application design. If you consider industrial IoT, still many programmers are working on Java, and now they are shifting towards the Python programming languages also. So these are the commonly used languages that we need to focus on the IoT application designs. Okay, that's from the fifth session. From next session onwards, we'll start with Industry 4.0 and how industrial IoT is connected to Industry 4.0. Thank you. Thanks a lot.